Guess who's back? Back again. Mocking After Dark. Tell a friend. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Fantasy in Frames. Mocking After Dark. Third straight, we are here to help you figure out who you're going to get based on your draft slot. With me today is straight from the Shoot the Gap podcast, Nate Markham. From the Dynasty 365 show, Tyler Hale, and he's a hustler, baby, Gator J. How's it going, boys?
It's good, brother. It's good. I'm ready to see how this 4 turns out this time.
Yeah. No change for you, eh, Nate?
Hell no. I don't mock for bullshit. This is hard. This is serious.
I love it. I love
it. Speaking of serious, I do want to bring something up. So I created this group chat for us to have these mocks and have people that wanted to mock with us. And I want to give a shout out right quick to Greggles 17, who is sitting at the 101 tonight. I'm gonna do something on Twitter with his team, whatever it comes out to be tonight. And I want to compare it to my team from my horrible draft 2 nights ago from the 101. But here's the difference: is this is what happened. So in the group chat, I dropped the link. The draft filled up really, really quick, thankfully. And so I was going to give up my 106 spot to the first person to donate $5 or more to Fantasy Cares. Seeing as we're doing Scott Fishbowl, and this is just a mock. It's not even, nothing major. It's just a mock. And Greggles immediately sends me a receipt showing that he donated to Fantasy Cares. So big props to get to Greggles 17 right there for doing that. Appreciate you for doing that. He did get in the mock, and I also want to give up props to who was I want to say it was Fantasy Zip, who was actually sitting at the 101, and because I am the host of the mock, I could not remove myself. Fantasy Zip actually stepped out so Greggles could get in. Fantasy Zip will definitely be in our next mock.
I see Angie Hatfield in the chat. Did Angie get in to the mock? I don't have the list of the people.
I don't know I think Angie did get in. I think she's at 7, if I'm not mistaken. Gridiron Goddess.
Okay. I just want to make sure because she was on the IDP pod, Shoot the Gap in the chat there, and was looking forward to the mock. And not that it can change now, but I just want to make sure that everybody gets a chance. And if that means we have to do this, I don't know, a couple more times a week, we're a group of the people. We're for the people, by the people, and we mock people. If that,
well, we definitely
there's some mocking.
We mock each other.
We do mock exactly. Mostly one person
mocking one-on-one. We definitely mock me. So
hey, I'll take it. Thick skin.
Without further ado, Gator, should we roll this thing?
Let's get it, fellas.
Let's give the people what they want. A 101.
Right?
Greggles. He had a pretty solid team. He was in the last nights, I believe, with you guys, right?
Yeah.
He started off with the QB first.
Yeah, he went, I think it was Hurts, and goes with Hurts again.
Did it again.
Right on brand.
Hey, you know what? If it's not broke, don't fix it, right?
Hey, man, that's why we're mocking, though. We got to try some different things.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
If you're the 101 and you want a quarterback, taking Hurts or Allen or Mahomes doesn't change your build. Ultimately, it just changes your projections for how many points. So unless, and I get it, maybe he wants to look at Kelsey in a situation. That's about the only variance you can go for really 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 is pretty much Kelsey.
Yeah, I mean, Gator had. I'm not even like this. Isn't even on purpose.
Listen, that was 2 days ago.
Your draft was so bad at the 101. I am afraid to take Travis Kelce.
I'm telling you, from the 101, if you take Kelce,
come on.
I don't know whose sound is that.
That's whoever's running the draft. You got to turn it off.
I've turned it off 3 times and it turned it back on, I guess. Okay, my bad, fellas. My bad. So
Yeah.
you take Kelsey at the 101, and then you are literally, you might get through the first 2 rounds okay, right? You know, you look good, but man, you get to that because of that 3rd round reversal, and then you either have to reach hard to get at points, or you're chasing.
Yeah.
You had the issue that we said it last night. You kept trying to get caught up in tiers, and you found yourself in the middle of tiers each time instead of starting a new one because you didn't feel like reaching in your eyes. And this goes back to an ADP conversation I want us to have. And Chris, I don't know if you and I have had a chance to really talk about ADP. I know Tyler and I have, and by being teammates in the Kings Classic, which for anybody listening, also we got the news. Tyler is again joining me. Well, I'm joining him. However you want to look at that. We're teammates again.
There you go.
To take down the auction and snake draft. And last year, our auction team started off, I believe it was 9-0, and didn't win another game from that one. Yeah, it wasn't the best of times, but that was also, that was losing Cooper Kupp and a few others. But we will do Fantasy and Frames proud. But I want to ask you about ADP, and at what round do you throw ADP? And I know you may throw ADP out the window in round 1 realistically, but I mean like by 24 picks or so. Is that the 3rd round, the 5th round? About where do you typically look at that?
Yeah, I would say right about there. I'm a drafter. I like to draft what the board gives me. So I'll just use ADP as just another tool like tiers or top 200 positional players and stuff like that. So I don't necessarily throw it away completely. I will refer back to that and then counterbalance that ADP with the tiers that I have set up, my own personal rankings, and just use all the tools as one big whole, just multi-tool. So I don't throw them out the window completely, but I do, I would say, I don't want to say use them as a crutch, but just use them as a reference point to see maybe if I can find the value drop, or if I want to pivot to another position, see where that player is going to be at, because ADP can be all over the place. And as we've seen from some of these drafts, you're going to see guys shoot up, shoot down. Tyler made a great ADP from these mocking after darks that we've been running so far. It's been a small sample size, but just seeing the variance of where certain players go, the ADP is just another tool for me. So I don't completely throw it right out.
Yeah, I think that when people use it as a tool, sometimes they use it, as you mentioned, as a crutch, in that if you're picking, this comes back to what I was talking with Gator about. When you're sitting and you have 24 picks before that, and you have a person that would make sense for your team, but you want to wait because you don't want to be the high guy on when at the end of the day, when you use whatever, I think it was Spike to look at, and it's like, oh, great, I had the earliest pick on player A, B, or C. You sometimes see that as like a mark of, like, I don't want to say inadequacy, like, oh, what'd you reach so far? But you don't want to miss out. And sometimes you have to, especially the turn, man. That's the one thing you got to, and you're at the turn. Let's talk about your pick right there. Cause yesterday it was Drew at 12 who said he wanted to try something different. And he went with CMC and Eckler. I believe it was Eckler. Yeah. And you took the more traditional, I think, route of going to Sean Watson and Daniel Jones. Talk us through that.
Yeah, I mean, both guys with rushing capabilities in the Scott Fish scoring that I want to take advantage of. Daniel Jones is a guy that I think he ran for 700 yards last season. He was top in the league according to quarterbacks and just rushing amount. And then if you look at Deshaun Watson's games, he was averaging almost 6 rushes per game when he started to come in as the starter for Cleveland. So through the whole stretch, through the season, that would have, if you would have, I'm going to use a big word here, I don't know if it's in the right spot to use it, but extrapolate. I just wanted to use extrapolate. So if you spread that number across the whole season, he's going to end up as QB6, QB5 in total rush attempts. And with the rushing first downs, the carry bonus, if I can get a Deshaun Watson who has the capabilities to throw for 4,500 yards and 30 some odd touchdowns and add 6 rushes or near 6 rushes per game, I'm going to take that. Team that up with Daniel Jones with the 3rd round reversal. I'm going to get another elite player at the 3-1 that I can attach to those 2 guys. So the last draft I was in with you guys, I took I believe it was Chase and Lawrence at the 112-2-1. But considering the format, I want to lock down 2 QBs that could set my team off right week in and week out.
Gotcha. And this is one of the challenges that we face is when you have in a mock, especially when we want to talk through process, when you have Gator, myself, and Tyler, all 3 by each other, you want to talk about, what you're thinking and what you're not. But at the same time, in a competitive nature, the competitive side of me says, I don't want to tell these 2 idiots anything because I don't want them sniping me. But at the same time, I think it's beneficial for everybody. And I like talking out picks because you may bring up a point as far as what I'm thinking that I maybe didn't give consideration to. And as we've always said, iron sharpens iron. I'm always open for constructive criticism, mocking and criticism. I could probably do without, but I do like the constructive portion. And so Gator, since your pick's over, you went with Justin Jefferson and Cooper Kupp, knowing what happened couple days back as far as starting with the Kelsey and maybe waiting a little bit at quarterback. Are you concerned with that at all?
Short memory. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yep.
What was your question?
Goldfish.
No question.
Okay. No, actually, I was between a couple guys there. And just looking at, and this is where I think ADP may either hinder or help. Is I was looking at some of what their ADP is, but of the players that I was looking at there, and this 3rd round reversal, most of those players actually I may be able to get them again. So I will take 2 elite, top 3, top 4 wide receivers right off the bat. What did I miss? What did I say that you were?
Well, he was. I'm debating here, and I'll say this: I'm debating with the 3rd round reversal. I'm trying to do that opportunity cost breakdown. I know it's early, but if I go wide receiver and the best on my board, I was hoping for, either Tyreek or Kupp. So I didn't have to take Diggs before Tyler, because I don't want him thinking I did that just out of sniping purposes only. And spite is not the intent. He's definitely in my top 5 receiver rankings, at least my tier 1.5, 2, whatever. I just like the running back names that will be available at the 3-9 for me, more so than starting my receiver room off with the ones that would be left there.
No, absolutely.
But Tyler decides to, let me ask you a question, Tyler. So going from Diggs, is CD and AJ Brown and Devontae Adams in a different tier than Diggs, or was it the fact that just without that stack, it just made more sense to pivot to the running back?
Without that stack, it made more sense to pivot. Honestly, if this were the Scott Fish Bowl, I would have just taken Dak Prescott there. But I'm
this is a Scott
testing
Fish
some
Bowl.
things out. If I were sitting at Rock Pit Brewing in Orlando, Florida right now, I would have taken Dak
right
Prescott.
next to us. Yeah.
Yes. But I wanted to take Josh Jacobs. I mean, he's going to be that entire offense this year.
Yep.
I mean, he's absolutely going to crush. And I wanted to see what the team build looked like if I went running back number 2.
Hello? Hello?
You're
Devontae, you want to talk to Tyler? Devontae Adams is one to talk to you.
Hey, the last time we did this, I got Devontae at the 310. So
there you go.
That's where the ADP value conversation comes in.
Absolutely.
And as Stephanie said, that Greggles at the 1 would have stacked him with AJ Brown. And again, I think that's one of the more I don't say volatile conversation because I don't think it truly is that bad, but I think the stacking conversation, Stephanie and I had that conversation last night, and she definitely feels that stacking is valuable in all facets, in both Superflex, Redraft, as well as best ball. And I know some people don't care as much, and I understand the case though, man. Hurts and AJ Brown. I did that in our first mocking After Dark at the 4 spot, and I really did like it. Hey, do we have a drop for like celebration or anything?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we need.
Yeah, the little Wayne.
Yeah,
blast.
exactly. The horn. Yeah.
I guess
That
There
works.
you go. That works.
Yeah.
All right,
that's enough.
it's on loop there, Gator.
Nope, I wasn't clicking that. I was not doing that.
I know the loop option is checked. So once you click play, it's
Oh, so that
never
was me
stopping.
then.
I wasn't clicking.
I did it. I hit it. I
it
didn't know
was
the
me.
loop button. Does it always? Because I turned it off the last time. Doesn't matter.
There you go. Now it's off.
All right. So, as the Streetsathon mentioned in the chat, and I will agree, I love these builds so far because we're seeing some quarterbacks push, not some. We're seeing one. We're seeing Dak go into the early third, which is something we hadn't seen that I can recall. Tyler, his ADP is probably, I'm going to say 24, 23.
So his ADP is 15 and a half.
15 and a half. Okay.
Wow.
So yeah, with this, it's now, 19, but that's, great value. Justin Fields, Bijan, Prescott. And in turn, that also means that these next group of quarterbacks probably are getting pushed down just a little bit as well. We know who those are. I don't think I need to mention. There's one of them, and there you go.
There it is, right there. I mean, that is between Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins is two of the players that I was looking at that 2-7, knowing that I'm going to have to capitalize on getting a quarterback. Now, is Kirk Cousins going to be a top 12? More than likely, because he always somehow get there, right? But I would rather have the hopefully what Cooper Kupp is going to give me over what Kirk Cousins is going to give me. If I can get Kirk Cousins at 3 and still stack him with Justin Jefferson, now I'm more excited about what I have in my first 3 picks at the the 6th spot than I was in my first 3 picks of the 1-1, knowing that I had 65 points out of those 3 picks every week. Even if these picks are only 48 to 50 points every week.
Let me ask you a question, Gator.
My team is going to work out.
How disappointing is it to know that you don't actually pick out of the 6th spot in Scott Fishbowl, and this this build is probably not your actual team? I mean, I'm not saying that to be negative. I'm saying, like, I would be thrilled. I hate whenever I pick like that.
Listen, this right here is 100% trying to teach the people. I am helping. I'm doing help. I'm doing the good.
You're doing help.
You're doing help.
Keep doing it. It's late. It's a late show for us.
It's very late.
I think you got me up so late.
We're rolling. 4th round. DK Metcalf, T. Higgins. Greggles again. Solid team. He kind of pivoted from what he did last night, stacking all those running backs. Hurts, Barkley, Geno Smith, DK Metcalf, followed by Higgins at the 4-2. Tyler back on the clock. He's already rolling. Josh Allen, Josh Jacobs, and TJ Hawkinson. Does the J in TJ stand for Josh as well?
I hope so. I really. If it doesn't, it does now.
Crystal
I'm going for
Lobby.
the rainbow start here. And
I like it. I
did
one
too.
of every position.
And I am following suit with that as well, and hoping this is the tough one. Choosing which one of these, since Gator, you're the only person. I debate between Kittle and Pitts here.
Here's where we are. We're both
Pitts
spot here. So if it was me, I lean to Pitts, and the only reason is, and I think there's going to be
what I'm looking for
him as well. And then that's a fair. Here's the other side of that. What are you going to get with Kittle? The same little, tight end 5. I mean, golly, let's spice it up a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt. I just worry the targets that we knew should go to Pitts. How, number one, Bijan's going to absorb what? Is he going to get 75 targets? Is that an unfair number to say?
Not
Will
at
it come
all.
out of Kyle Pitts's piggy bank? Will it come out of Drake London's piggy bank? Will it come as a result of neither one? I mean, the one thing is the first downs for Kittle, I feel pretty comfortable in this format. Again, forecasting consistency and in the terms of tie in first downs is a little challenging, but I will say what I baited back and forth was the person who you took, Gator, is Anthony Richardson, which I love the value there, but I have the benefit of wanting to wait, knowing that I have Mahomes, not messing with it, and just seeing if I'm going to be in okay shape by waiting.
Yeah, and honestly, whenever you first brought my name up, that's exactly who I thought you were going to talk about. What was Anthony Richardson? I didn't think you were going tight end right there, but because the last night,
Every draft I've done, I have Richardson basically.
Second round.
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
swore you were taking them there.
Yeah.
And I was going to, and everything said to do it, and I want to, but I want to see just that also kind of goes against the Scott Fishbowl format. And if I was sitting at World Championship Fantasy headquarters drafting and Richardson was there, I would not pass up that opportunity. It wouldn't happen, even though I may feel the same genuine intrigue to say, ooh, what if I wait for A, B, and C? Is how much better is Kittle opportunity cost wise than the next person who I would take later? But Richardson, I have as projection wise, a top 12 quarterback in this format. And so it was the smarter pick to take Richardson, Gator, for sure. But
well, Jorge's got a question right here. Does SFB this year, SFB13 versus years past, feel more like best ball in a weird way? Or is it just him?
I mean, I don't think it's just him. I think the complete lack of negative points is really driving kind of the thinking toward, all right, who's really going to blow up? Who's just going to crush it this year? Because people aren't going to suck like they did last year with all these negative points. You're not going to have negative 14-point weeks from quarterbacks.
Right.
So that is really driving the thinking of, hey, all right, let's just go for ceiling here. Who's absolutely going to crush it here? Because I know this guy is going to get me 15 points, but I want the person that's going to get me 35.
Yeah. If there's a comparison, and maybe anybody that plays any sports games on whatever console, it's like switching into arcade mode, I think is what it is, where everything's a little higher ceiling, everybody's completion percentage is higher. No one drops passes. The hits are a little bit harder. Making 3 points. I'm putting all 3 or 4 different sports games into ones for whichever our viewers play. I'm not doing any FIFA because I don't play that, so I can't talk.
I've tried to play FIFA. I just have no idea what I'm doing.
No, I haven't either.
Get ball, kick ball.
Yeah. I just do the rainbow kicks and the bicycle kicks the entire time.
Exactly. Try to do some dangles, but it doesn't work out.
Exactly.
We're in the 5th now. The 4th rounded out with Chris Olave, George Kittle, Kyle Pitts, Anthony Richardson, Dallas Goedert, Ramondre Stevenson, Najee Harris, Jared Goff, Gators guy, probably sad he missed out on Goff, Mari Cooper, Darren Waller, and then back around the turn, Breece Hall, Jahmyr Gibbs, Devonta Smith. Any surprises yet there, Gator?
Yeah, Jared Goff went. No, I mean, I think that's probably about right. I
think the QBs don't seem as compact. They don't seem as
right. They're not as clumped together.
Yeah, exactly. A little more spread out. in this draft at least. Again, a lot of heavy wide receiver, heavy running back. A lot of the top running backs are off the board. I went with Brees, knowing that you could possibly start on the pup, but based on who else was there, I'm going to take Brees and hope he only misses about 4 weeks, and then he can come in and instantly give me some fantasy gratification in that Jets offense.
Mm-hmm.
But
I will tell you this real quick, though. What's happened tonight compared to the last night and then, of course, the night before is making Tyler's job with the ADP stuff input a lot harder.
Just having it all over the place.
Hey, it doesn't matter where it is, man. I got this shit figured out.
Oh, there you go.
I'm good to go.
Love it. Can't complain.
This is going to be good data. Everyone is going to have this. So
yeah. Are you gonna put it out there for everybody just to enjoy?
Absolutely, yeah.
We should actually. I think we should put it up there for people to donate in order to get access to it. Is what we should do.
Yeah, I think that's a very good idea.
Mm-hmm. We have a Drake London
donation to Fantasy Cares, and you'll get that link.
That's right. I'm sorry. What did you just say there?
I don't have it. You don't have
it. Wrong one.
No, I don't have that one. It's not on this one.
Gotcha. I don't know how that works. So
no, that's a Jorge drop. He's got that all to himself.
I do want to agree with Spenny.
Yeah,
Fantasy Zip, the Devonta fall. I was personally affronted that Devonta Smith fell to the 5th round.
Yeah, I was right there. Man, this is the tough one.
Because I was between Olave and Devontae at that 4-3 pick, and it was a very hard decision. And then Devontae lasted another round.
Well, I think that has to do a lot with like what Nate said a minute ago, the all positive scoring, right? So it bumps people up. Whether it's because of the if you want to, whether you like the 0.25 per carry, or whether you like the bonus for the the full PPR plus all the bonuses for the tight ends, the no negatives or whatever. I mean, it's going to drastically change ADP, or even in your actual draft where players are going to be drafted. So Devontae Smith, somebody last year, there's probably going in, what if he'd have walked into, if Scott Fishbowl 12 was his second year or third year, like he's going to walk into this third year with the production he's done over the last 2 years, he probably would have been in the second round last year. Right. So
yeah,
and then you add all these positives onto it, and these other players with these, no fumbles, doesn't matter, interceptions don't matter, whatever doesn't matter. Now all these other players are moving up the board. They're going to score you more points than a wide receiver 2 on his own team.
Yeah. I'm trying to question if I should have taken. Now here, looking with it going ETN, Dobbins, and Mixon, boom, boom, boom. That was my next tier there. And on the flip side, of course, this goes in. My tiering for receivers, Keenan Allen, from what was there, was at the top. But I still have 2 or 3. So I don't know if I had taken one of the running backs there. I don't know if that would have flipped the decision-making for everybody, or if they would have lean down. That's what you don't know. And Stephanie says team 2, no quarterback has her nervous. And then he gets Derek Carr right there, or she gets Derek Carr, whomever. Great value. I definitely, Carr was more valuable last year as far as the efficiency side. That's where he was starting to see his stock increase as a result of that. But still, the dude's just solid piece, especially when you have the pieces he has around him, at least to stay competitive. Let's see. You guys talk for a second.
What do you make of 102's Kelsey build? Look, like right now it looks pretty solid. Kelsey, Taylor, Waddle, Higgins. Dobbins and Derek Carr.
Well, without Jared Goff, it looks very similar to my build
Yeah, it's very close.
from the
Very
101.
close. Just we're gonna compliment his build.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair.
Am I the only one that feels Derek Carr as being a little underrated this year?
Well, of course he is. I mean, he's what I'm not gonna say mid, but he's a high end QB2.
He was a QB 21 last year
Really?
with our scoring this year. He would have been the 21 on a per game basis.
What was he last year though?
As far as like in that scoring?
Well, I mean, just overall.
He's 20. And Scott Fishbowl scoring last year, Derek Carr was QB 20 in points per game.
I didn't realize
Not the greatest.
I didn't think he was that bad last year.
He didn't really.
He wasn't that bad for.
It had to be.
Football, but it was just.
It had to be because of the completion percentage. And that was the thing though, is it wasn't overall; it was per game. I'm sure there was a bunch of games where he didn't hit that 66.
No, that's what I thought it'd be the opposite, because I thought he was, from an efficiency standpoint, that's the only reason why I had him higher up. He was.
Oh shit! I just went on auto. My bad.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You got Terry. It's a good pick.
I mean, I don't hate it.
But no, you're right. His
Gator,
as a whole, his percentage. I mean, he was down nearly almost 8% over his last 2 to 3 years, and I think that maybe we'll see that change with New Orleans. Maybe they'll set him up for. I don't know. I think that's more of an outlier than the 70%. As being an outlier, I think 66 to 68% is probably where we'll see him this year. And how that translates into scoring, we'll know.
Stephanie, Jesus,
Yeah, she's
not good.
just going for the heart.
If he gets Thomas back with Olave, they got Shaheed there, Juwan Johnson, the group of running backs they got, decent offensive line, decent defense, and a cake division, soft schedule. Derek Carr could definitely put up some fantasy relevant numbers week in and week out.
Ooh. Yes, he certainly can. I agree with all of that, Chris. That's kind of why I'm making the statement of, are we underrating him a bit this year? But
just
Derek
a bit,
Carr
just
is
a bit.
Permanently underrated. Sometimes he deserves it, sometimes he doesn't.
Sometimes properly rated. Got sniped hard there with Evan Ingram.
And I had a really hard time passing on guys like Terry McLaurin, Jerry Jeudy for David Njoku. But I'm looking at the scoring, man, and it's just wild. I mean, last year Njoku finished as I think it was the tight end 10 in points per game. Yeah. And
actually on a per game, he's like, I think he's higher than that per game.
On per game, he was 7.
Yeah.
He scored 20 points per game, 19.6 points per game in this scoring.
Yep.
It's absurd. I mean, that puts him at wide receiver 13. Like that, that's bonkers, man.
Now, the one thing I want to do and this would be I have to look back. Was his production better or worse with Watson than with Brissett? Because Brissett did do a lot in terms of moving the chains and really giving him, especially if it was first down indicative. And of course, I could probably find that information real quick instead of just.
So he's only. This is all off the top of my head because I just wrote notes on him. He really only played 4 healthy games with Deshaun Watson. 2 of them stunk. 2 of them were great.
Okay.
So like I'm talking 1 for 4, 1 for 8, and then 6 for 80 and a touchdown and 6 for 77, like things like that.
Gotcha.
So unfortunately there is no really leading data there.
Yeah.
Big first down guy. I think he was top 5, maybe even top 3 in receiving first downs between weeks 1 and 17 at the position. So you're going to get that little boost from his production catching the ball beyond the sticks.
Yeah,
which is huge.
Absolutely.
It's 1 point, right? 1 point for receiving
2
first down.
points. 2 points for the tight end.
Yeah, 2 points for the tight end, plus the point for the reception of the first down, plus the yardage points. Everything that I've seen, granted, it is just OTAs, but everything I've seen coming out of Cleveland and OTAs is the connection between Watson, his receivers, and not only that is Watson and Njoku. So a guy maybe a little underrated as well. But I think he's going right around where, maybe not overrated. He's going right around where people got him ranked in that tight end 6 to 9 spot.
I have an easier path to me of seeing Njoku being the number 2 option there than I see Donovan Peoples-Jones maintaining the number 2 spot there.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to consider him. And it's not a knock against DPJ. I think he had a really good season. I think he can build upon that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's see. And I'm looking up the tight end first. I mean, Kelsey is such a far and away. I have to scroll down a little bit to get to the next grouping. But
yeah, it's grouped together there. Are we talking
Kittle and Njoku both had 36 in roughly actually the same amount of snaps and everything too, shockingly.
One behind Freiermuth with 37. I mean, Njoku played less games. Goddard was just an efficiency god.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
He only played 12 games, and he was top 4 or 5 in everything. I mean, yards per route run, first downs, yards per reception, all that.
Yeah.
He was very good last year.
He's a safety valve for that offense when the plays break down or the defense takes away the wide receivers. Goddard's the guy that Jalen Hurts consistently looks for. Where you going, Nate?
That's my hardest problem, man. It's like I don't love this, but I'm banking on production in terms of just
opportunity.
You know, I don't love the player. And I mean, you go back to 9 weeks from now, or 9 months previous, and there was talks that Cam Akers wasn't even on the
he wasn't
stay on the team.
Yeah,
they're like, he might not even play anymore. And here he is being my RB2.
They wanted to get rid of him, and no one would take him.
I know. Until they decided to give him 90% of the carries from week 10 on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Here's your punishment. No one wants you, so you're a bell cow.
Yeah, we're gonna run
your ass into the ground. Exactly.
I had 2 guys that I wanted there. It was Christian Watson and James Conner, and I did not win that bet.
And Conner,
I don't know if I would have won it either way.
That's the both again. I aired Akers over Conner because I feel that the Rams offense is just night and day compared to the Cardinals offense as far as scoring output. I don't know if I like what I saw with Conner as far as, you know, without DeAndre Hopkins and down the stretch, and the passing upside is tremendous. It's the receiving upside, I guess, but you know what I meant. I'm just going to convince myself that Cam Akers is the right call. I still find myself, and I have to keep referring to Tyler's wonderful spreadsheet, which is extremely helpful. And I have to see that George Kittle scored 334 points, and that is the same amount of points that basically Amon-Ra St. Brown scored last year. And I have to tell myself that that's what you look at, Nate. Don't think of, I wish I wouldn't have addressed tight end. Look at the potential points and just say, okay, that is a wide receiver 1 bottom, but wide receiver 1 and go with it. So
yeah, the tight end scoring so inflated that you almost have to roster or reach up for a couple good ones draft them where you don't usually take tight ends, because usually in tight ends redraft, you're playing one tight end, maybe even just a half point premium. You're still pushing them down the board, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at the last round where I took Damian Pierce, I actually had Dalton Schultz queued up because I think, at least in my opinion, the tight end is a huge outlet for a rookie quarterback, right? And we've seen Dalton Schultz do damage just 2 years ago as a tight end. So I had him queued up, and when Angie took him, I was just like, damn, I it doesn't matter what position I'm in, I'm getting sniped. So, but
looks like Angie's not being allowed back in a mock now. Way to go, Angie. Pissed off Gator. You're done.
You're done.
You had a good run. Greggles, real quick before we go any further, he said he fat fingered the pick of Ayuk or Connor.
I'm guessing it was Ayuk.
I would too, but I can understand both. I mean,
I like both picks.
But he has Debo already, so maybe he was saying he didn't want Debo and Ayuk. And if that's the case,
fair.
if I would go back and change it if it was up to me, but it's not. It's up to Gator, and he probably won't, because he wants to see your 101 draft fail, and he doesn't want to give you any benefit.
What do you want? I'll pause it right now. What do you want?
You can't take anyone that's already been picked.
Yeah, say Dalvin.
You want to do a trade right now? I'll give you Dalvin for Ayuk and your next 2 picks. Gregos, put it in the chat. Who do you want? Hurry up. Let's go.
I gotta say though, Tyler, Kenny Pickett was a great pick there. I've been diving into the player, and the amount of rush attempts he has puts him in the upper echelon of rushing quarterbacks. I think he was 10 or 12.
Wide receiver, Hollywood. Yeah. He should be at the top of the book. There you go.
Why didn't it just take the player?
Because you clicked on the thing instead of the
player. Oh,
click on the plus on the far left. There you go.
I guess that would work. All right, so there we go.
You fat fingered his fat finger, and so the 2 fat fingers make a.
Listen.
No, but that was good. That was quick. What do you think?
Are you sure he wasn't talking about Malcolm Brown?
I mean, Lucky Brown. It could have been any Brown. You put Brown in the chat.
It's true.
Oh no, he did put M Brown, so it could have been Mike Brown.
Could have been Mike Brown. He said he's
Tim Brown, one of those guys. But yes, Chris, as a Browns fan, I absolutely hate to say it. I think Pickett can be very helpful for fantasy this year.
Yep. A lot of people have him as their breakout candidate at the position. So they invested a bit in the offensive line. They got Deontay there, Pickens, Freiermuth. They got Big Darnell Washington there, another offensive lineman. So yeah, I could see Kenny Pickett doing some damage. I was going to take him here at the 8-12 if he was still there, but got picked. I thought he was going to fall. I thought he was going to keep going.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the ADP, like it messes with your head. But I mean, the one guy that's left is clearly Matthew Stafford.
Hey,
that's such a gamble.
There's still plenty of people that only have one quarterback. I needed maybe some time. Actually,
that's why I took a quarterback, because
exactly.
You and Burn Zone were the only other 2 teams with one quarterback,
and that was a debate.
No way.
Coming back and in the 7th there, that was what I was kind of looking at. I was like, all right, do I take it now? Because I'm sandwiched between it. And so it came down to me trying to get into both your brains and thinking, all right, would you be happy? And this is so screwed up thinking. Would you be happy with the 3rd quarterback left if I took one and the other person took one? Because I want you to be miserable. I want you to be upset that I took the person and you have to wait a whole nother tier. It's a very flawed philosophy that I share, unfortunately.
Very flawed.
Yeah, maybe flawed, but I love it.
Thanks.
I would have taken a shot on. I think I would have been okay with Bryce Young. I would have been okay with Matthew Stafford. Been okay with CJ Stroud. I would have been a little iffy on Jordan Love, and then I think I would have passed.
Yep. I can understand that.
There goes Stafford.
Oh,
there he is.
QB3.
JC money.
Stupid JC.
Followed by
Brokow
Lockett.
just got a nice pick there at 9-3. I think that's going to be a huge pick when it comes down to it.
Yeah,
every time.
every single time. I love it. I think that, I mean, back to back. Look, realistically, I know some people are against, you know, I'm not drafting Deontay this year because the letdown last year from the lack of touchdowns. Give me Deontay Johnson and Tyler Lockett and 300 targets between the two of them. And now that might be a little high, but not too far off. I'm more than happy, especially around 8 and 9. Yeah, all day long.
Who would you rather have, Deontay Johnson and Tyler Lockett, or DK Metcalf and George Pickens?
Ooh.
I would probably take, in a PPR, I'd probably take Deontay Johnson and Tyler Lockett.
Yeah.
Yeah. In half like this, man, I mean, the upside, of course, if I could take those two in rounds 8 and 9, I would rather take DK and Pickens for the upside.
Sure.
But you can't get both those two players. You have to invest a second and 14th or whatever for Pickens versus 8-9. I'd rather pivot away from, you know, DK myself in that.
So Deontay and Lockett most likely. We're in the 9th round. Alexander Madison picked at the 9-1. I picked Madison with the news that Dalvin Cook being released from the Minnesota Vikings. Matt Stafford 9-2. Tyler Lockett 9-3. Treylon Burks 9-4. Isaiah Pacheco at the 9-5. And then Jordan Addison at the 9-6. Gators on the clock. I've approached this draft with the strategy of anchor wide receiver, because looking at the breakdown of the scoring and what players scored last year based on the scoring, the running backs and the tight ends are pretty inflated with the points per carry and the tight end premium. So I want to go with the roster where I'm going to try to maximize the amount of points I can get in a week in and week out basis. Because if you look at Higbee that I picked at the 8-12 last season, if I pull up Tyler's beautiful sheet here, he averaged about 16.9 points per game, finished with 288 fantasy points. If you're looking at the wide receiver, that puts him at about total points. That puts him at wide receiver 15, wide receiver 14 right there. And the point total is pretty much right in that spot as well. So getting Higbee over maybe, say, Adam Thielen or Zay Jones, Juju, Michael Pittman, guys like that, I'm going to take that all the time and hope that they can give me a consistent floor with the possibility of smashing the ceiling.
Yeah.
Hey, can someone tell me what I'm missing on Javonte Williams?
I think
is there a problem with his knee though? But like back of the 9th round.
Yeah,
I'll take that all day.
Yeah.
But I think honestly it's because of the multiple ligaments that he tore. They've invested not a ton of money, but they've invested in the running back position. So I think they're throwing people out there, but they're not throwing any great any. But here's the other thing about Javonte Williams. If you look back at his college career, like he shared time even at North Carolina, right? It was a split. Everywhere he's been, it's been a split.
Yeah, that's okay.
No, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But now that he's got this knee injury, he wasn't drafted by Sean Payton and this new staff coming in.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what's going to happen with Javonte Williams. And I think because of the knee, that is going to be something that's going to drop him. In the 9th round, yeah, I mean, value, but
until you
fantasy
zip or Zeke, that's going to cause those signings are going to create some type of chaos. I don't know where he's going to go. I know that Rusty says go Arizona, Denver. I mean, I'm shocked there hasn't been more fake pundits out there saying that they know where he's going to go. Like last year at this time, there were 15 reports a day from all the fantasy insiders that their sources are, I got a guy. I know a guy. I'm friends with this person. Oh, I heard from this thing. And it's a joke.
How sexy would Dalvin Cook look in a Kansas City Chiefs uniform?
So the
Jesus, do we
You
get
need to go clean yourself up, Nate.
I listened to the Locked On Chiefs podcast today.
Yeah.
And that was what the conversation was, is that they can't do anything until they restructure Chris Jones. And if they do that, yes, Dalvin comes in, and Dalvin comes in, but yes, there is a case to be made that they could bring him in. And if so, then what does that do to obviously everybody else? And I don't see them bringing him in. I think if they do, it has me concerned about Pacheco more so than anybody else, of course, because I just think maybe they're looking too far. Is there something underlying? Is recovery slower than what they're expecting? I don't know. So it would be fun. It would be definitely luxury for sure.
Who would you rather have? Would you rather have Dalvin Cook or DeAndre Hopkins?
DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, especially in that offense.
Mm-hmm.
And Isaiah Pacheco's shown that he's capable, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
A salary cap take on these possible moves. I guess like Dalvin Cook is not worth it for them. He's just not. You know, I mean, if you want to figure out how to do DeAndre Hopkins, give him a 3-year deal that's actually a 2-year deal with a void year on it. Yeah, that's great. But the Chiefs have to be conscious of Pat Mahomes going to start costing $50-60 million against cap. And they only have $1 million in cap space. So
that's the Chris Jones restructuring could make 20. They could move however they figured it out. It could be a very significant change for them to be able to make multiple moves. And it's even been said that the Dalvin Cook move has to be really, really low base and then incentivized. And I don't think Dalvin Cook would take that as much as he may want to go to a winner. I just don't see. I don't see it.
I'm gonna say this just to piss off Stephanie, because I know how much of a Tony Pollard, how many Tony Pollard shares she has, and how big of a Dallas fan she is. But Dallas, Cook to Dallas, I mean,
yeah, be nice.
But again, it's all about the money. Like Tyler was just saying a second ago. They've had 3 months, 4 months now that they could have re-signed Stephanie in the chat. Stephanie, I saw it the first time. You have to put it 3 other times.
She wants to make sure she's heard.
Just make sure, right? They've had the chance to re-sign Zeke, which would probably be pretty much the same role that Cook would run over there, right? So
just Cook's a little faster right now.
Cook and Zeke are not
on
the same.
No. I'm not saying the same. I'm saying that with Pollard, because Pollard, I'm saying Pollard and Cook are similar with the receptions and that sort of thing. I can't stand this team.
Oh man, Jonathan at the 108. Andrew, so his quarterbacks, let me bring up his roster and review that real quick. If I can actually scroll down.
Steph, just to clarify, okay. I only said it just to mess with you, Stephanie. I knew that would get you riled up, that get you out of the bed, that would get you on your phone, and your fingers would start moving. That's all I did. That's all I was trying to do there.
So at the 108, his quarterbacks are Tua and Aaron Rodgers. Running backs are Ramondre and DeAndre. There you go.
And Pacheco.
And Pacheco, yeah. Sorry, I'm just going for the alliteration there. We got Mark Andrews, which is good. And then Garrett Wilson, Jerry Jeudy, George Pickens. I like his wide receivers. I feel like quarterback, running back are kind of mid. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of a weird team. So I don't blame him for kind of being like, I don't love this, but I think it's a good team.
It's a nice thing, like Angie said. Sorry, Tyler, I'm not trying to interrupt you. She got auto drafted talking about Hopkins to our Chiefs, and it auto drafted her a Chief. So it just knows. Sleeper has AI learning tool, and now, ironically, is if the love for D Hop doesn't end up in him Kansas City, Kadarius Toney still has that most likely one role. Obviously better best ball, but Tyler, continue on with the breakdown for number 8, Jonathan's team.
I was done.
You were sick of it.
Yeah, nice wide. I really like his wide receivers. Everything else is kind of meh. So I think it's a good team overall, but it's not one of the, my team. I feel pretty good about it, but on the same kind of note, I'm like, I'm not really great anywhere, but I'm good everywhere. So you always have those kind of weird feelings coming out of the draft when you really diversify your positions.
Yeah, and you know what's bad is I hate not having a second quarterback right now by
it's rough
standard, but I don't hate it. I'm fine knowing that I have Mahomes. If I look at, again, going back to Tyler's spreadsheet, and I look at the quarterbacks that are left, and I look at what the average scoring per game is, and let's say we use player A here, and I don't need to speak whoever the player is. Of all the sexy names that are left, I don't want to give it away of who it is. Watch out. 22 points, we'll say, is the average for right around where they'd be, 20 to 22. That is still, that's better than any of the other positions that I would put into that other flex. And I'm good with that. I know that seemed backwards thinking. I was waiting to find a tight end that was going to put up 20 a game and say I could just pivot to that. But unfortunately, it's more like 12. So, you know what? Never mind. Not having 2 quarterbacks sucks.
Yeah.
Jonathan Siegel, if this is my squad after I draft, I'll look to orphan in it. And he just went into auto draft. So good for him. Rage quit.
He's on auto draft, but he's still got a green light. So he's still there. He's just watching. He's like, better than I can.
Can the computer do worse or better?
The epitome of rage quit. I'm going to sit here and just suffer.
I love it.
You're on the clock, Gator.
If Angie, oh shit, I thought I just picked him.
Who?
No, I hit the wrong button again. But okay, cool.
Jeez.
Angie's. If Angie can sit there and talk about the Chiefs and get her guy, then I'm damn sure going to sit here and just talk about my guy on auto and see if the AI will do it too.
So I had intention to take Sam Howell there, just banking on the fact that his legs would supplant. At least a decent enough floor.
Yeah.
Would have looked great with Gibson as well.
Yeah, I didn't really care about that portion as much, but I know what you're saying. So instead,
you're gonna go Mac Jones?
Oh, fuck Mac Jones.
that was that was the pivot right there, right?
It's the person who I don't know if he's gonna have the job. I don't necessarily. I don't know. I think that I'll use a word that I heard earlier. See if I use it properly. If you extrapolate his production over limited starts over the full season, he would be a stud. Mac Jones is not fine. Mac Jones is a garbage quarterback.
But even with the no negative points, Mac Jones is going to have some value.
Yeah, everybody has value.
Sure.
You have to have value. You can't be negative because you can't get negative points.
Yeah, it's positive. Everyone's getting points.
But as Dave Chappelle says, I wish I had 2 more hands to give. In this case, it's not. It's to give him 4 thumbs down. And
if you're going to quote Dave Chappelle, you better watch out.
Yeah. You pick your quotes wisely.
Yeah, that's so many words when you quote him.
I'm pissing off some fan bases I don't care. You know what? When Bailey Zappi honestly was convincing some people that he could be the guy. Sorry, Equinox.
Mac Jones.
He just picked him. That's why.
I know. But at least it's his backup. So that's good.
he's got Kyler Murray, so I think Kyler Murray's
nope, that's a starter. Never mind.
That's your QB1 there, buddy.
Yeah. Wait till you see my stellar next pick. Can't wait.
I was gonna say, I mean, we're sitting here talking about Mac Jones not being a viable starter, he's being a backup or whatever. Nate got Brock Purdy. He may not even be the starter on his own team.
No doubt. Exactly. At that point, it was really just pure. His upside is higher to me than what Mac Jones. It wasn't higher than Sam Howell, in my opinion, as far as like, I don't expect the extrapolation of Brock Purdy to actually be legitimate. I don't expect him to throw for 6,000 yards and 50 touchdowns based off of his sample.
But doesn't that make him and Mac Jones the same guy?
No. I think just the offense as a whole doesn't impress me much in New England. Not enough that I feel. But Brock Purdy is just a guy too. I just don't like Mac Jones, so I'm going to go that route, and I'm going to take another just a guy.
Who you like?
I hate this. That's fine.
He may be just a guy like Mac Jones, but he's got way better guys around him. Damn it, asshole.
Samaje. Followed by did you want Samaje P. Ryan there, Gator?
What? Screw you, Nate. I was going to give you props on your Brock Purdy. I'm not doing it now. Screw that. I'm not doing it.
Just all I know is this: I would much rather have had Anthony Richardson in the fourth now, than any George Kittle, and could have taken in Njoku instead of Keenan Allen. Probably would have been.
That's what you get for not listening to me. I tried to tell you.
Yeah, I know.
And then you just had to, you know what? Since you said that, Gator, I'm going to go do the exact opposite. That's cool. Whatever. I'm not picking from the 101. Don't do what I do from the 101.
No, I was going to go Jimmy Garoppolo is what it was. And I didn't want to listen to it. Going back to back of Purdy and Garoppolo. So I just went ahead with a different option, a position I don't need because I already have, I keep trying to scroll down on this screen to look instead of looking at my phone. I'm drafting from my phone.
You're drafting from your phone?
Yep.
That's rough.
I know. It's okay. 49ers so much better. That's true. And yes, Stephanie, Matt Patricia does deserve a lot of the blame, but I don't know. I can't get behind Mac Jones. I just can't. Maybe prove me wrong. I will eat crow, and I will definitely admit that I'm wrong if he puts up a season inside the top. I'd say if he's ahead of a QB 24, I would be shocked.
If he's a QB 2, you're going to be shocked.
If he's a QB 2, yes, I'd be shocked. Personally. But, the hard thing about that is if he plays 17 games, just volume alone will probably put him into that equation. So maybe I'll try to go with the per game basis, hedge my bets a little if I can.
Skew the numbers to fit you.
Yeah, my narrative. Yeah, Stephanie's in favor of that. She understands where I'm coming from. And look, and Jacoby Myers is no longer there. Who else are you going to throw to not score a touchdown?
Tyquan Thornton.
Juju Schuster, Kayshawn Booty.
Yeah.
Booty is loose up in New England.
Yeah, me too. We had two kickers go off the board, Justin Tucker and Daniel Carlson. Two guys. Justin Tucker, if you look at the scoring last year, wasn't that great of a kicker in terms of the he was kicker 7, so he was still top 10. He averaged about 14.1 points per game. Ended up with 239.9. It's almost 240 points there. Last year's kicker one in this scoring was Brett Mayer, the mayor of Dallas Cowboys.
Oh Lord, you're gonna stir her up again.
She didn't know that her own kicker was the number one
Oh,
fantasy score. Now, here, listen to the way this sounds. She didn't know that her kicker was the number one scoring option from stats using last year's with this year's scoring format.
Yeah.
Well, who the fuck is going to know that? You're good, Steph. You're okay. You not knowing that is far from anything, atrocious. Like if you told me that, let's use some of these scoring that would be odd, if anything.
Because it's the 3.3 for every extra point made.
Yes.
And then it's the decimal scoring for the field goal. So if your kicker kicks a 27-yard field goal, it's 2.7 points for that 27-yard field goal. So
plus the 3 for the field goal itself.
No,
right?
No, it's 3.3 for the extra point.
And okay, all right.
Yeah.
Then every kick after that's decimal.
Okay, so that's what Scott was talking about in the video, was because most extra points are 33 yards. That's why he was
okay. That's where you got the 3.3 from.
Yep,
correct.
Nice.
So that now when you say that, or when I ask that question and you point out where I was thinking there, that now that 3.3 makes a lot more sense.
Has anyone in this room took a deep dive into the kickers to try to find the advantage at the position, maybe looking into what teams' patterns are when they're within scoring distance? Do they go for it on fourth down more? Maybe teams that go for the 2-point conversion more. You kind of want to stay away from those kickers. Is it still too early in the scoring process where no one's really dove into that yet?
So if I'm looking at this and I have broken down by range of field goals as well as extra points made.
Yep.
You know who the top kickers are, with kind of one exception? Guys who kick more than 40 extra points.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
makes
about
sense.
it. Guys on good offenses.
Yeah.
Brett Maher, 50 extra points made. Tyler Bass, 48. Michael. Oh wait, I'm looking at points per game. Okay, so this is a little skewed. Jason Myers, 41. Jake Elliott, 51. Robbie Gould, 50. Harrison Butker only played 13 games, but 38.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Carlson was an exception. He just made a shit ton of 50-yard field goals.
Yep. Yeah.
Evan McPherson, 40. And then Tucker, that's why Tucker was further down the list. Their offense sucked last year. They only made 31 extra points.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you get that. I mean, their offense is absolutely 100% going to be better this year. So you give him 33 more points, and we're talking in the kicker one range. So you can never miss with Justin Tucker. We're talking kickers here.
I mean, Justin Tucker doesn't miss, so you can't miss.
It's true.
Right.
It's all about like the graphic that we put out, and then of course what Scott said, it's all about volume. So as long as
he did miss a 65-yarder last year. So,
that son of a bitch. Human.
My thoughts exactly, Gator.
Fucking humans.
Oh, damn it, Nate.
Hooray.
Love it, Nate. Can you do that again? Can you do that again, Nate? Do it again. I want to rewind. Do that again.
Make the pick or say hooray?
No, the whole make the big thing where Tyler goes, damn it, Nate.
He's gotten me quite a few
11,
times.
At 1 hour, 8 minutes, 20, about 1 hour, 8 minutes, 20 seconds. Put that down. I need that. Damn it, Nate.
Now, how many of you guys are, all three of you are live drafting, yeah?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
How does the experience change when you're drafting from a live draft over an online draft? Do you see it be less chalky?
Hang on. I'll answer this question first. I have no freaking clue.
Oh, because you've never been there before,
Not
right?
been there yet.
In the live draft?
You experience one, no doubt. I mean, here's the thing: is me, Tyler, Stacy from the Best Ball Show and the Dynasty 365 show, and our guy Zach Chalupa Batman are all going to be in Orlando.
Oh,
So we get to actually get together. Zach, myself, Tyler. Are you picking from the 3 spot?
Yeah.
And then Stacy's picking from the 2, but Zach and myself are both picking from the 4 spot. So we're gonna hang out. Probably get to too much fun. We're gonna send Jorge a bunch of pictures.
Stacy and I are the only one in the same league, though, so I'm just going to terrorize her.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's gonna snipe the shit out of him. I already know that. So I have no clue, but I would love to hear because I know Tyler did it last year. I know Nate did it last year in St. Louis. Tyler did it in Orlando last year.
I did not.
Oh, you didn't go?
I was going to. I was supposed to, and that was the one weekend all summer that I was out of town.
oh,
Yeah. So, our live last year was different in that the clock, and I don't know how every live is doing it. I know that. I guess that is exactly true.
Yeah, a couple more sodas, that's for sure.
Man, we got. I have Drew at the draft with me this year, him and I get to hang out. It's a little vacation. My wife's dropping me off there, which means I don't have to drive, and I probably will drink a little bit, and then we're going to a concert that night.
Oh,
and then
you Drew or you and the
my wife and I, we're going. I got sucked. I don't know what suckered in. I'm not the biggest country music fan, but Eric Church is that night.
Okay,
and then the next day is another concert, and we're gonna go see Snoop and Too Short. And
nice.
Yeah, so that's my weekend.
I was really hoping you were gonna say you and Drew were going to see Taylor Swift.
Oh, I can't afford Taylor Swift. You guys don't pay me enough to do that shit.
Jeez, you take out a second mortgage to go see Taylor Swift.
I just want
my wife's going to Taylor Swift next weekend.
Is she really?
Oh, nice.
Shit.
Oh yeah. She's
just
going to
one
Pittsburgh.
ticket you're able to get, eh? Just one.
Exactly.
Yeah, they tried to get tickets in 4 different cities and wound up in Pittsburgh.
Holy.
Jeez.
Well, you're definitely gonna have to take the pic, video. I want side by side of.
Damn it!
You're on the clock, Nate.
I know.
I want side by side of Tyler at Taylor Swift, Nate at Taylor Swift, Drew at Taylor Swift, and then Aaron Rodgers at. I want to see who does it best.
Aaron Rodgers, just terrible dancer. Just absolutely no rhythm, just a shame to white men everywhere.
Fair point.
Oh man, Shia LaBeouf took Baker. All the quarterbacks are gone.
Yeah,
pretty
I
much.
believe so.
Yep.
Unless Trask is there, if you think Trask is going to start, Colt McCoy.
Trask has got to be on the board still.
Yeah, Trask, Colt McCoy, Gardner Minshew, possible week 1 starter for the Colts. I know Nate and Gator don't want to hear that right now.
Hey, I projected Richardson for 15 games and still to be a top 12 in this format. So even if he sits first game and maybe first 2, I'm fine with that. I mean, I'm not fine. I would rather him play if I have him on any of my teams.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, so Mahomes with Brock Purdy and Ryan Tannehill, not my ideal quarterback room. If DeAndre Hopkins actually does go to Tennessee, which I don't think happens, I feel like he's Jesus, let's get to a position I can actually mention. He is a QB, low-end QB2. Angie says that, yes, Eric Church is a lot of fun. I've seen him before with her. He's a good time. But no, the Snoop, and actually for you people listening, it's not Snoop that I am so intrigued to go see. I'm a Too Short fan from way back. And that is coincidentally, my wife is a Too Short fan as well. And so we will do our best to sing along, but unfortunately you really can't sing along too much. Because
a lot of B words.
You got to be careful. Yeah. Not worried about the B words. Not so much. Still worried. Don't get me wrong. But I I love, but that's kind of my genre. We had the pleasure of going to see Wu-Tang last year.
Oh, nice.
That was fantastic.
Did you go to
And it
Dallas
was
and watch them?
No, here in St. Louis.
Okay.
It was Wu-Tang, Nas, and Busta Rhymes.
Okay, so they did the same thing in Dallas.
Yeah, the start of the tour was here. It started here in St. Louis.
So my cousin sent me mold. I mean, I think there was like 300 pictures he actually sent me from the actual concert itself, and it was a hole in the wall. Like it wasn't a venue that you would go. It wasn't like Airlines Arena or anything like that. It was a hole in the wall. There was like 400 people in the whole bar.
Oh wow!
It was amazing, amazing, because of who it was. Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, I don't know how they could even do. Hell, this thing was. There was 15 people on stage at one time. I don't know how they had even got close to that many people, but it was definitely, and they actually, I know this isn't fantasy football talk, but they had invested so little into the advertising for it, and tickets went on sale 6 months before. And since they didn't advertise for it, and it was the beginning of that entire New York State of Mind tour, they had tickets go out I got 16 tickets for $30.
Shut up.
This game, just giving them to people. They wanted people to fill up the seats.
Yeah.
So we had a whole row basically to ourselves at first, and then everybody started pouring in when you could see that they were allowing $1 ticket sales at the ticket box just to get people in.
Nick was pissed. He was like, "God damn it! I spent $30 on these."
Now is that because it was a $4 show? Was it a matinee show because those guys are so old?
Yeah, exactly. You would think.
Oh,
no, it was.
But the old jokes.
They are old. There's no doubt. But you should Google and watch Busta Rhymes' set from that tour. Was phenomenal.
Damn it!
I bet.
Really, really good. I was pretty happy. So yeah, that weekend should be a good time. I don't know, and you guys can answer this for me. I don't know if the live drafts. Number one, the live drafts are only 10 rounds.
10 rounds. Yeah.
So, is it? So how do you fill out the rest of your roster?
Slow draft.
Slow draft.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if the live is actually under a time per pick.
That question was.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, the question was asked in the 104 chat, and of course, Zach Chula Batman is actually running the Orlando, or is one of the coordinators for the Orlando draft. And last year they really didn't do a timer, but they ended up like one of the groups or one of the divisions ended up doing the whole draft. That's how quick they went through it.
Oh wow!
In that 5 hours. But Scott has also mentioned, hey, live drafts, we do 10 rounds. At that point, stop, enjoy each other's company. That's what you're actually there for. Enjoy everybody's company.
Yeah.
And then
Nate, you're on the clock.
I know. Thank you.
Yep.
So when it was brought up about, is there a timer? It's like, yes, there's a timer, but nobody really pays attention to it. It's everybody, as long as it flows.
Yeah.
Everybody's good.
Sure.
Yeah.
Jaylen Warren, known as the blue cheese of running backs.
Oh, here we go. Jorge's not here tonight, so go ahead and take you do your.
Followed by John Mechie. Good pick with Mechie. We don't know who's going to be that wide receiver one for the Houston Texans. Could be Mechie, Dell, Robert Woods is there, Nico Collins is there. Who knows what's going to happen in that wide receiver room?
Grego's Tegan Quatoriano.
Yeah,
I didn't make that up.
Yeah, he's the tight end, or is he the wide receiver?
He's tight end.
He's tight end, right? Yeah. Who else is tight end there? Schultz, and then Brevin Jordan still there or no?
Yeah.
I mean, in body.
Yeah, physically there.
He's got a jersey that hangs in a locker.
We are in the 16th round. Kenny Gainwell went 16-1 just before him. Taysom Hill Isaiah Likely at the 16-2. Athletic tight end could get some use in that Monken offense, especially if Andrews was to go down. Likely could have a significant role in that Baltimore offense. They also have Charlie Kohler there that they drafted with Likely. Then Raheed Shaheed, solid pick there for Tyler, another one. Nate with Colt McCoy. I dig it. He's probably the QB1 if Kyler Murray misses any time. I don't really see anybody jumping in front of him. They did draft Clayton Tune, but I think it's Colt McCoy.
I do too.
Yeah.
And that gives me time to determine if Purdy's not healthy to start the season. Thing is that I worry is that even if Purdy doesn't start the season, I'm not 100% sold that Trey Lance doesn't run with it. But at the same time, I'm just as divided that they are going to just hand it back to Purdy. If you go strictly off coach speak, which is the dumbest thing in the world, of course, it's Purdy's job. I think that's what every alliteration from everything the coaches have said is in line. I will say it's Clayton Tune, as Phil said, Tune season may happen week double digits on. I don't see it early enough in the season. Maybe and 2024's Tune season, I believe that'll be his role for about 2 weeks until the first pick overall takes his job because they're going to be garbage. But I actually like Clayton Tune.
Wait, where's Kyler Murray in 2024? I mean,
he'll get traded this year. They're gonna
trade. Listen, Listen, he's still on a rookie deal, and they have him extended. He's not even hit the extension yet. He's on a rookie deal.
Perfect time to get good capital for him.
But he's got an extension that that just is in the massive numbers on the extension start next year, right?
That's Tyler's forte.
I mean,
they can figure it out.
Yeah, but dude is going to play baseball in Oakland.
Might as well.
Where's he playing at in Oakland?
Hell if I know.
Because there ain't even going to be a team in Oakland.
There's a minor league team there, isn't there? Or at least a softball team, maybe?
I was going to say there's a wiffle ball park probably somewhere.
He's going to be playing video games.
If they trade Kyler Murray next year, they will save dollars against cap.
Sure.
Yeah.
It would be a $46 million dead cap hit.
Holy shit.
That's what I'm saying. Is they extended him like ridiculous numbers.
Like 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
He's still under his rookie deal. It was the massive number. It's crazy. It's crazy. And then of course they turned around and extended Kingsbury too, but it's a lot easier to get out and beat that number.
That was, we can all talk about like bad moves in the NFL, but 9 times out of 10, when we're talking about bad moves in the NFL, like there was someone that said, "Oh, this could work out. This is a good decision." Like when the Cardinals gave Cliff Kingsbury and whatever their GM's name is a contract extension, and Kyler Murray that extension all in like the same week, everyone's like, "Whoa, this isn't going to work." And everyone was right.
I was just saying, exactly. How many people are sitting there, they throw a take out there and it's like, okay, it's 50-50 if you're right or wrong when you first say it. Mm-hmm. Everybody knew everybody was 100% right when they said, this is not going to work.
Mm-hmm. and that doesn't happen very often.
No.
That's impressive to be that wrong.
Hello.
And as Phil said, Carr's got a team of short kings, which is true. Kyler, Hollywood, Rondell. Stephanie made a point, which is true. Mike Wilson, which is a name to pay attention to because it's going to be, outside, opposite Hollywood will probably have to be Michael Wilson because in the slot, it'll be Dortch and Rondell.
Yep.
And I mean, I like Wilson for where I have him in a number of best balls late. And this wouldn't be a terrible format for that either. Just if the connection's there, we'll see. This is the intrigue part. I want to talk to you guys about this pick here because Joe Mixon's situation hasn't improved. If you follow Drew Davenport at all, or if you're friends with Drew, he closely monitors legal aspects of players, and his concern in a little discussion today that he had is that Mixon isn't exactly out of the weeds yet entirely. That aggravation case that he has pending, he has a pretrial scheduled. So let's say Mixon faces a little bit of a, punishment. Do you think it's Chase Brown, or are you thinking is it Travion Williams? Is the only other option? I mean,
I think it's Zeke or Leonard Fournette or Kareem Hunt.
Okay. That's when do they make that case? When do they make that signing? Do you think
let's ask this question first. Tyler would know the answer to this, or at least can find it quicker than any of us. They still have an out.
They'd save money right now if they cut Joe Mixon.
So I think truly and honestly, if the court case goes the wrong way for Mixon, it's an immediate cut. And at that point, you will then see whether it's Zeke, whether it's Fournette, whether it's Hunt.
When is the cut date have to be by? Is there a specific cutoff, or is that just
no?
Okay,
no, it can be whenever. I mean, I guess my opinion is that I don't think Joe Mixon's not that good. Like I think he's just a guy.
It's a proven fact. If you look at what he did last year. 40% of his total points scored, 40% of his total points scored were in one game. And it was that 5 touchdown game.
Yeah.
He's not that good.
But he's always been that guy too. Just always with the blow up games, and that's it. So yeah, he's not very impressive. I mean, I don't think the Bengals are losing much without Joe Mixon. I mean, you can very easily sub in a Kareem Hunt for Joe Mixon. And I thought Kareem Hunt was pretty washed last year. And I still think that he can be 80% of Joe Mixon.
Maybe they bring in Dalvin.
I mean,
you've got right now, you've got 4 big free agents in the running back position right now. I think Dalvin probably would be the first one to sign of those.
Yeah. That's what it seems like.
It would be a very good football decision and cap decision for them. They need to save money for the years coming up with Burrow and Higgins and Chase. I mean, you just go to Dalvin Cook, say, hey, here's $12 million all 1 year. You can move on after this year and figure it out, but I'm no effects to our cap after this, and they'd be in good shape.
So you give him $12 million, and at the end of the year, you hand him a ring and let him walk.
Yes.
Ooh, Nate might have something to say about that.
Yeah. They get rings for AFC North championships now. Is that how pathetic it's gotten? And I say they get past Baltimore.
I think they gave the Lions rings for beating Green Bay.
There you go. No, I'm far from that much of a homer to not think that Cincinnati every given year has as good a chance as anybody to go to the Super Bowl and win. I think that'd be foolish not to think. I think that the path in the AFC is by far the most challenging path between the two. And it's just, I mean, it's brutal. It's absolutely brutal, and just what you have to go through. And it keeps getting better. I mean, realistically, no offense to the NFC, but total offense to the NFC. NFC's garbage as far as team to team comparisons.
Yeah, they suck.
Yep, that'll stir up some more shit talk. You're just gonna tag everything I've said is just gonna be some montage of how bad Mac Jones is.
I am collecting timestamps. I'm not gonna lie. I'm collecting timestamps. What has Nate said wrong now?
Oh, it's not wrong. It's right. It's just
that's gonna be the caption of the short. It's gonna be like, what did Nate say wrong now?
Right. How many were offended?
Who can we piss off?
Oh, probably a ton.
Speaking of, thank everybody that has subscribed to the Fantasy and Frames channel. We hit 500 today.
Yeah.
We are overjoyed by that, by the way. Overjoyed.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much.
Yeah. These guys have worked extremely hard. I say these guys. I have not. I have strictly just been out. Maybe that's, but I will say that, since I've returned, I have seen those numbers not do anything. It's stagnant. It's plateaued.
Yeah, Stephanie did wish a concussion upon Tua.
She did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Circle back to that. Good job, Steph.
Can we get some more shovels out and maybe some more dirt as well? Golly, just burying folks tonight. Lord,
Jorge doesn't care what we say, and he doesn't care how.
What are you talking about? It's after midnight. He's got to get up in like an hour just to go get.
It's 11 o'clock, by the way, not after midnight.
No, it's after midnight here, which
doesn't count.
Lives in
God's time.
Too.
Eastern time.
Yeah, exactly.
I have no idea where I'm going here. Good Lord.
You're on the clock again.
I know.
I can tell.
Get deep.
Gator has probably used the most clock time of anyone.
Oh, yeah. He's pissing off a lot of people in Orlando.
Listen, it's okay. It's okay. Nobody even cares. They're all green lighted except for one, which he's been on auto since like the 4th round when he tried to trade his team or orphan his team. Soldier, you're good. I'm just messing with you.
I forgot about kickers.
Kickers. Oh, that's right. We gotta have a kicker.
You don't have to. Oh, well, you doing this? Yeah.
Yeah, we do have to have a kicker.
Now with MFL, you can play 2 kickers. All 3 of you guys play it on sleeper.
You can do
You can
4.
play-
You do 4 kickers.
You can on MFL you can play a kicker in any flex position or all flex positions.
All you guys are sleeper. Any of you guys on MFL?
I don't
No,
know.
thank Christ.
I
No,
think
no.
I'm sleeper.
Orlando Live is all sleeper.
So that's actually one of the things. So my wife Carrie wanted to give her Scott Fishbowl spot away, which she can't do, and she knows that. And she was really tongue in cheek because she's been very frustrated with MFL. And for a person who only really plays on that site one time in one league per year, she's better than, I would say, average. But she's like, I lose so much just interest in trying to navigate through, and then and there's shortcuts. She doesn't listen to me with that, and that's okay, and I don't blame her. I wouldn't listen to me either, but I can see it. So sleeper is going to be, I think, really helpful for people, especially that want to make their life a little bit easier navigating and making moves and everything. Keeps people more involved, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
I found myself checked out quite a bit last year because I just trying to find free agents or trying to place a waiver bid was a freaking act of Congress.
It is. You're right, dude. I don't disagree at all.
For somebody that's fairly new to the online side of things, where it's not paper, Nate, like we used, because we're the olds of this group. I know Tyler's the olds too, but I don't want to throw Tyler on the bus like Chris has already thrown.
Whoa!
Hey,
I don't think I'm as old as you think I am, Gator.
Well, I mean, you're over 30, and Chris is over here making bad jokes about us being olds.
I didn't say you guys.
Anyway.
I said the axe that he's gonna go watch.
And if MFL is listening, please fix this. I would be more apt to try to learn MFL if they held their own app on the phone and it's not a third party.
Yeah, like I know their functionality is like second to none, but I just can't do it, man. Their interface is just beyond trash. I can't do it.
Yeah,
and I would love to use that site. I really would because it's so customizable. But I couldn't do it last year. I had a lot of trouble.
In the baseball side, there's a site called On Roto, which is very similar to MFL and that extremely customizable to the point of it's impressive how intricate you can make it. Unfortunately, with that, though, that also does twofold. Number one, like we just said, makes navigation through the site a little more challenging sometimes for the introductory user. And then two, it opens up Pandora's box of everybody going, ooh, well, what if we can trade in like dynasty picks and dollar amount from their contract to the next one? And they're like, you can do it. And it makes it, I mean, fucking chaotic. I don't want, just keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. I don't want to, I don't need to go back to standard scoring with 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1 and call it a day. But I don't need to get into trading future draft picks, cap considerations, and, et cetera.
Yeah, I think with the swipe left and swipe right generation, sleeper is a little more suited to that. Because you don't have to go find the icon. If you want to look at free agents, you can just swipe right. If you want to go back to your leagues, you swipe left. Is a lot less fumbling around in the app to try to find your way around what you want to do. But say you were playing on MFL and you're drafting, given the safe floor of the kickers, how many would you look to roster, knowing that you can start, like you said, 4?
I debated that. So that's the question too, is what your replacement cost is. There's, if there's towards the end, do you have like, is your draft built for high ceiling, stable floor? Because again, remember the median scoring changes a little bit in the fact that sometimes like in, GPPs, like the contrarian builds versus some of the more volatile ones, if you want to be able to win against the median, but you also need those outlier weeks too. And so I think the kickers give you that consistent floor. Yeah. Because if you're looking at the kicker 20 through 26, and I don't know why I said 20 to 26, forgive me for stupid ranges, but you get the idea. About 12 to 14 points right there, or 12 to 13 points. That is on par with basically, and that's on a per game basis. Let me sort this. You're really
5. A wide receiver 5.
Yeah, exactly. Or a about their RB 4 or 5 as well. And so I would rather have, I guess, a kicker versus some of the names like, let's use last year's Kyron Williams. No, that's a bad example. He'll only average 5 points. Let's go with someone maybe. Let's do J.D. McKissick. J.D. McKissick is someone that was heavily rostered just for the upside there, I guess, if anything. But that's 8.9 per game. Every kicker averages more than that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tyler.
Of course. We're getting to the point where I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go.
Wrap this bitch up.
Everybody go on auto.
Now, is there a scoring setting that you would want Scott Fish to maybe implement into the 14 bowl? Gator?
Ooh. You know what? To be honest, because I just want to stay on brand with this, I would love for him to add a couple IDP spots. I just think that would absolutely, but Scott Fish has always been about, balance scoring, this year being an exception.
Mm-hmm.
So he would definitely need to balance some of that scoring out where it's, if you put 2 IDP spots in there, make them balanced to where they're going to fit. Whether it's a linebacker or whatever, that's going to, equal out to what a good running back could be.
Yeah. The pros and cons to that approach with the limited, like the 2 IDP spots is the pro of that. And I know Scott would be in favor, is to bringing awareness to and growing all fantasy aspects. And IDP is a portion of that I know he would be in favor of saying, hey, let's Let's bring awareness. Let's build that side of it. Here's my contribution in terms of doing so. At the onset of that is great. Well, the negative to it is that it then just so there's 750 players.
Yep.
And you're talking 24. It's an unfortunate small sample, but it could be an interesting twist that I think maybe just offering that idea that you don't have to actually roster IDP players. Ooh. That might be something kind of like the kicker. You open up that floor and you give that option, and you keep the scoring competitive with some of the like
offensive guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
so I mean, it would definitely make the rosters loaded. Scoring would definitely be higher because you could eliminate this last 6 rounds of garbage. Sorry, Jake Ferguson. I know you and Luke Spoonman are gonna fight out that tight end touches, but I don't need you on my team.
And I love what you just brought up there, but the other side of that, let me ask it this way: when it comes to the IDP, do you think if he said, okay, only because I know the 750 players, defensively, when you look at it, it's a very, very small sample size. What if it was only linebackers? You had to have 2 linebackers.
I know what you're saying. I don't see the growth by just that. I think people would be more frustrated with the just lack of, I don't know, I feel like they would just be kind of throwing it in just to do it. Like, here's those linebackers. And I don't think there would be much traction. I don't think people would appreciate the idea and the movement. It might be a negative to IDP because I think more people would get frustrated with having to pick out linebackers. And Stephanie brings up a good point about Luke Shoemaker being in a boot and Ferguson. Last I heard, it was, everything, any precautionary things with the boot is stupid. No one puts a boot on as precautionary. It's always as a result of something. But I think that you take him out of the equation and Ferguson's value, of course, is much greater, especially occupying, the targets that should be there. But I think we're good, fellas. That's
great night of drafting. Had fun.
I don't know if I like my team or not, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nobody
break it down a little bit.
Have to look at it.
I sure have a lot of wide receivers. I don't know if any of them are good, but I've got a lot of them.
One of them's got to hit, right? You got Olave, Watson, two good picks there, 2 big boom guys. Gabriel Davis, OBJ, Rondale Moore, Rashid Shaheed, Marvin Mims, Michael Wilson for your wide receiver room. So I believe that the first 2 you got, your starters, Olave, Watson, are gonna give you some points. Are gonna have a safe floor, being the wide receiver ones on their respective teams. Gabe Davis is a bit of a question mark in Buffalo.
I don't know if he's that much of a question mark. I think he just has a negative connotation to him because he vastly underperformed to expectation last year, which his expectation was like wide receiver 10 overall.
It's been off for 1 game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I think in regular scoring, he finished as the wide receiver 21. So like he was really good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yep.
I was like, I'll gladly take that as my wide receiver 3, but in a lot of people's eyes, he was very disappointing, and he just sucks now, and he's dead to a lot of people.
Yeah, I think the Kincaid pick too kind of scared some people away from him.
Yeah, it's all right. That's going to hit Dawson Knox and Isaiah McKenzie more.
Right.
Well, he's not even there anymore, is he?
Correct.
I think he's in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
McKenzie?
Maybe. Sure. Who cares?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's wrap it up, Chris.
Yeah. Yes.
Do that.
Thank you to everyone that joined the stream, everyone that was in the draft, everyone in the comments. We appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure you like the stream, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell to get notified whenever we go live. Again, these Mocking After Darks aren't a regularly scheduled program on the Fantasy in Frames network. So by hitting that bell, you're going to get notified whenever we go live with one of these, and you can hop into the comments. We dropped the link for the draft on Twitter and in the Gator Made This Great mock draft chat, so we drop it in there as well. Thanks again to Fantasy Zip for giving up his spot to Gregos, who donated the $5 to Fantasy Cares to get in to the mock. That's it for us. That's Gator J. That's Nate Markham. That's Tyler Heil. I'm Chris Battistel.